Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today to talk about Mary J. Blige and her soon-to-be ex-husband. Y'all, he is not making this easy for her. This fool is at it again. Now, I read a story today that Mary J. had to file some separate documents because this fool won't give her back some of her belongings. Now, they're saying that there's 3 cars involved, and Mary J. wants 2 of the cars back, and she's going to allow him to keep one of them. Now, which I think is a pretty good deal. These cars belong to her basic company, the Mary J. Blige, brand. So she, wants her cars back. And for her to allow him to keep one of them, I think is, that's being generous, especially since he wants $130,000 a month. Also, he can take some of that money and buy him a car. Now, another thing that they're saying that he will not give back to her is some of her awards, namely a couple of her Grammys. They said basically this fool is holding them hostage. You know what? He is being a complete asshole. And then you know what? After this, he has to go on with life, in life. And after watching him do all this shit to Mary J. Blige, you know what? What woman would want to be with him? I know I wouldn't, after I publicly watched him try to fleece, another woman. And then speaking of fleecing her, do you know that basically she's saying something like he has conned her out of over $420,000 in business expenses, over the course of, I guess, their marriage. Y'all, I think that these celebrity women, they need to start doing what these men do. Some of these wealthy men do. And something that Oprah has done. Don't marry them. You know what? Basically, shack up. Get something on the record, even with that shacking up. He came into the relationship with this. I came in with that. When he leaves, this is what he gets. Now, you would be common law, husband and wife after a while. But this thing where these people, and this is including women too, because this is just not men that do this. It's very rare for a man to act a fool like this when it comes to these celebrity women's money. But Kendu is acting a fool. But I think that, years ago we watched Oprah talk about how she wasn't marrying Statman, but, they've been together like 25 years now, I think. So definitely they're common law. And I'm pretty sure that Oprah has something written up on, what Stedman would and would not get if they, for some reason broke up. When it comes to marriage and splitting, money after everything is over, y'all, people act crazy. Now, we're used to seeing women do this. When they break up with someone wealthy, they could have been with that guy for a hot second, but they will go to court and ask for all kind of shit. And we know that they do that, y'all. We know that there are some women out there who, when they leave, they want it all. Well, here's a man that is doing the same thing. Now, him holding on to her Grammys, I mean, really? Something sentimental like that, that shows you that he's trying to be an ass, that he's trying to hurt her, that he's trying to make this difficult. The broad is giving you a car. Take the car and whatever settlement money and go on and walk off into the sunset. Because like I said, I wouldn't want him after this. Down the line, he's going to date again. There's going to be other women in his life. Is he not thinking about that, or is he so invested in the fight and the battle over this money that he's forgotten that he's gonna have a life after this? And then with all of this stuff being put out there in the public, people are gonna have a negative view of him, and they're gonna feel sorry for Mary, and it's gonna make it worse for him. you know he could have been civil about this, say, I worked for you, you were basically my employer, you were also my wife, there are certain things that I think that I am entitled to. But what he is doing seems to be like a little bit over the top. Now, y'all, we know that women in these relationships with wealthy men, they do the same thing. But I don't know if it's a double standard, because when it's a man, it just seems like when they're doing it, it feels a little shady, because we think men are strong and they can fend for themselves, and he's do something, but not all of this money that he's asking for, so it's making him look bad. Y'all, their shit is messier than a mug. And I don't know how all this is going to play out, but I tell you this, Mary is going to pay out something. She's going to pay out something. And with everything that's going on, I just got this feeling that he's going to get a lot. Now, I would hate, if that was me, to have to give him, all of this money because of the way that he's acting. Because Grammys, y'all, he won't give her Grammys back. He's holding those hostage too. Come on now. Get a girl her 2 cars back, her Grammys, and whatever awards, because they said that it's other stuff, other awards that she's won that he's holding hostage as well. Child, look, I'm straight. I'm straight. I ain't got nothing, so it wouldn't be nothing for anyone to try to take from me. But, oh Lord, when you got a couple, coins, you need to figure out, when you talking about shacking with somebody or marrying somebody, how in the event that y'all break up, they don't walk away with your money. And with that, y'all, that's it for me. But I wanted to know what y'all think of this. Him, holding on to 3 cars, her Grammy Awards and all that stuff. Put it down in the comments, because I'd be curious to know what everyone else thinks of it. Y'all have a good evening, and thanks again for watching my video. Bye-bye.